I remember waking up so excited. I was in my pajama set and I start to run down the stairs. My stepfather is standing right at the edge of the stairs, and he was so tall it felt like he was just towering over me. And I was so excited, and I came up to him and I said, "What did my dad get me for my birthday? What did my dad get me for my birthday?" And he said, "Your father got you nothing for your birthday. He doesn't love you, you mean nothing to him." I tried to hold back the tears because I didn't want him to see how I felt. I just got quiet. I couldn't believe that my dad didn't love me anymore. I didn't know if I had done something wrong, if I hadn't gotten enough good grades. I started dancing 6 hours a day, every single day, being a prima ballerina. I was getting straight A's in school, staying up until 10 p.m., 11 p.m. every single night, working to get perfect grades. I was doing everything I could to get the approval that I wanted so badly. And what I didn't know was that my dad had sent me presents, but that my stepfather had hidden them from me. When my stepfather joined our family, it quickly became clear to me that it was his way or the highway. And I remember one day I could hear my mom and my stepdad shouting. And when I came into the kitchen, I still remember looking up and seeing my mom, and she was down on the floor. She was slumped against the cabinet. She was crying. My stepfather was standing over her. He was yelling, he was screaming, he was shaking his hand in her face. She looked broken. She looked small and helpless. I was only 10 years old, but I instinctively knew to get in between them. And I said, "You can't treat her that way. You can't talk to her that way." And it would make him so angry. My mom breaks down in tears and she tells me that her marriage is over. I remember standing out in the driveway. There was the big moving truck. We had packed our entire lives into there. And my stepfather was standing on the doorstep of the house, and he just looked at me, stone cold, angry. He had his fists clenched and he was gritting his teeth and his face was red. And he told me, "This is your fault. You did this. You broke our family." And my mom stood there quietly, and her face dropped and she said nothing. And I didn't understand how I could have ruined things. And for the longest time, I believed it. I completely gave up on trying. I didn't care about getting straight A's. I started drinking. I entered therapy. I was on medication. And it finally came to a head when I was 19 years old. I had actually been kicked out of college because I didn't go to class for 6 months. And I remember calling my mom, and I could just imagine how angry she was gonna be. How could the girl who used to get straight A's get kicked out of school? And she said, "I'm sending you away." My mom said, "I'm gonna send you to a place where you are going to meditate twice a day, you're going to exercise twice a day." I thought my mom was crazy. How on earth was this going to fix me? But she sent me off. She bought me the plane ticket, and I remember when I got there, it was like walking into a jungle. It was just a completely other world that I had been transported to. And you're greeted by all of these people who are wearing white cotton pants and yellow t-shirts. And that's how I found myself in this room where everyone was crying, releasing pain, trauma, fear, anxiety, all of the stories they had been telling themselves about what had held them back. Basically, I was in a room full of people having a midlife crisis, and I was 19 on the outside looking in. And my teacher comes up to me, and he sees me defiant, cold, stony, not really participating, and he says, "You have the biggest ego I've ever seen." I was so angry with him, and I wanted to justify. My mom and dad got divorced when I was 6 years old. My mom and stepdad got divorced. People have hurt me. People have done me wrong. And he just looks at me and he says, "So what?" So what? I tell you my life story and you say, "So what?" He just said, "It doesn't matter what everybody else has done to you. What matters and what's worse is what you are doing to yourself." He saw past the mask that I'd been putting up of how tough I was, and he could see something deeper that I did not want anyone else to see. In that moment, I realized that I had spent my entire life letting other people's perceptions, choices, behaviors, decisions dictate my life. Instead of trying to get all of this love from external sources, I needed to turn the love inward. It's easy to groan when we talk about self-love. It can feel a little bit hippy-dippy. When my mom used to talk to me about it, I thought, oh, you just like yoga, you like eat, pray, love, you've seen it one too many times, this is not a real thing. It doesn't actually matter. But it does. Because self-love is not about feeling good. It's not about thinking you're having a good hair day or that your grades are great or that everything's awesome and so therefore you are doing enough. It's not about that. It's about believing deep in the core of who you are that you are worthy of love. The thing about love is it's not something that we get by doing. It's something that we inherently deserve by being. And the love that we need most is not the love that comes from a parent or a partner, as amazing as it feels. The love that we need first and foremost is our own. Instead of trying to fit in, instead of trying to be who everybody else wants you to be, it's up to us to stay true to our own path. When you know who you are, when you love who you are, that path will be brought before you.